Welcome to our Vision Caribbean and Latino Film Festival Filmmakers podcast with your hosts, Charles Aline and Dr. Christopher Odom. On today's show, actor, writer, and filmmaker Javier Carreón.
So I want to welcome everyone in podcast land to another exciting episode of Our Vision Caribbean Latino Filmmaker Podcast with my great co-host, Dr. Christopher Odom. And today we have a special guest, an incredible filmmaker from Mexico. I'm going to let him do the honors of introducing himself. Go ahead, Javier.
Hi there. Hi, Chris and Charles. First of all, thanks for the invitation to be here in your program. It's a pleasure to me. It's a pleasure for me, sorry, to be here. And my name is Javier Carreón. I'm a filmmaker, screenwriter, and actor. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico, but currently I live in Mexico City.
Okay, cool. Javier, tell us how you start to get into film. What led you to become a filmmaker?
Well, actually, I began as an actor, because I did a master's in acting in Guadalajara, and then I came here to Mexico City. Because I wanted to be an actor. That was my original idea. But then I don't know if destiny or whatever you call it took me to screenwriting and directing as well. So right now, actually, to be honest, we started. I began writing theater, and we presented a couple of plays here in Mexico City, and then because of the pandemic, we decided to start making short films, and we sent them to different festivals. Our first short film was its name is Ruidos, Noises, in English, and it's a thriller. It's a 5-minute thriller, and actually it was selected at FICCMA. That was our first selection there. And then right now it has been selected in more than 60 festivals around the world. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really great. If you see our poster, it has lots of laurels there. So yes, and then I said, okay, I like this of being a filmmaker as well. And then we did another one and another one, and right now we have four short films, and we are working on our 5th short film as well.
Wow. So could you tell us what the first one was about? I mean, give us a little bit about the story.
Yeah, it's a guy who suffers of schizophrenia, and he is like listening to strange noises all the time. And it's a kind of monologue because there's only one actor on it. And he goes all over his apartment looking for where these noises are coming from, but then he discovers that I don't want to spoil the end, so you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, most definitely.
The end, it's a bit terrifying.
Okay.
60 festivals is a very impressive run, and there's certain nuances to the festival journey. And for our audience who's just getting started out and wondering, how do I get my film into 60 festivals? Could you tell us a little bit about that process and how you got from one festival to 60 festivals?
Well, yeah, actually it was kind of curious because I began like sending it to different festivals through these platforms like Fest Home and Film Freeway and all of these platforms where you can send your short films to different festivals. And some of them were selected there, and some of them were because of recommendations. The same directors from festivals said, "Hey, I have a short film that I'd like to share in your festival." So it was kind of funny that. And the same happens with our second short film. Its name is Hesitation, the Shameless Dilemma of a Potential Suicide. That it's about a guy who wants to kill himself, but he doesn't know how. So he's like, he doubts about how he's going to kill himself. And the same at the end, there's a little surprise, and it happened exactly the same with that. We started like sending it to festivals, and then the same festivals recommended us to other festivals. So I tell to all the young filmmakers that go ahead, no, and risk yourselves because it's a really grateful experience.
Cool, cool, cool. So at the start, you said you wanted to be an actor also. Did you get an opportunity to act in any of your films?
Actually, not just in a play, just in a play that I wrote. I acted there, but not in short films. I think I think I'm not prepared, or if or I mean I prefer to direct because if I think that if I act, I can get distracted with okay the lights and the camera and this and all that, and I wouldn't be able to focus really well. So maybe later.
So
So,
working on your master's in acting in theater with concentration in acting is at a very high level. How has that influenced your work as a screenwriter and a director?
Well, that's a very good question. I was always when I was studying my degree, my acting degree. I mean, I have been always I've always liked to write, So always when there was like an exercise at school that you need to make a short film or you need to make a musical video or something like that. It was like Javier, write it, please. My colleagues from school as well, they were always like, okay, please, Javier, write it. No? And that's how I started. Actually, that short film that I told you, Noises, I wrote it when I was in college. So I had the opportunity to make it first in theater and then in as a short film.
Oh.
But I've always felt attracted to write and to direct since I was studying my acting degree.
so let's take that a little further. Um, is there any specific styles or any individual writer or director that you feel that you follow or you like that you want to copy their style or use their style in some way or have it give you some sort of direction?
You know what? I am a huge fan of smart horror. I like a lot, for instance, Ari Aster, this guy, the director from Hereditary and Midsommar. I think that he has influenced a little bit in how I write and how I direct because I like that my stories, even if they're horror stories, most of them, they have like a social message, to people and to make this kind of environment not just with jump scares, because I think that it's like a very easy way to scare people. I think it's better to make like a really creepy environment, and that's how the audience can feel a little bit uncomfortable in that. It's so that's how I work and that's how I write. I like that my stories have this, and generally all of them they have a twist at the end as well.
Cool, 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 cool. I love that, because with me, I love taking from different directors that, that I find to be really good craftsmen, good people at their art. And how is it the process for you, like once you start the writing process and then you start the casting process and then you go into the production process, the pre-production. Give us a run through because I know you haven't done a feature yet, right? So I guess the ultimate goal is to create a feature. Am I correct?
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
so as at this stage, let our audience know for Javier, what's the experience like writing, casting, and then working with your actors, and
Yeah.
then working with your people on the set. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you that to be honest, with our last two short films, I was very lucky because two producers were interested in producing the short film. So I didn't have to invest money on them. Just I wrote them and I directed them. I think that I was a lucky guy because, as we know, it's I mean, to produce or to make a short film, it's really expensive, you know. But they were really interested in that. The first one, it's a friend of mine that told me, "Hey, I want to produce a short film that talks about sexism, no, and mansplaining, this kind of micro sexism."
Mm-hmm.
And I made a short film inspired a little bit by Stephen King as well. And we made that short film that as well. It's right now it's like running in different festivals around the world. But he made it. I just wrote it. And he made it with his own team, and that's it. I had nothing to see with the production. On the other hand, I had another friend that told me the same. I want to produce a short film that you write.
Yeah.
But in that case, it was really great because he practically gave us the money to produce it with our own team. So that was really, really great because I could call my cameraman, my actors. Actually, two of them were my teachers, and now I directed them. That makes me feel really proud, One of them actually was nominated to for Best Actress in the last edition of FICCMA, and it has been really, really great. But of course, my goal is to start working on a feature. That would be great.
Great. So how is the when you cast your films, right? And you meet with the actors, what's that process like? You having to pick that person, they're auditioning, and you having to pick that actors for, trying to get the right person for the right, for the right character. How's that for you? How does that work?
We work a lot on that. Actually, my partner is Moises Suarez. He's a well-known actor here in Mexico. He has participated even in Hollywood productions such as The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas and Anthony Hopkins. In For a Greater Glory, I think, with Andy Garcia and Eva Longoria as well. Yeah, and he has lots of experience. So he focuses more on the acting. We have
Hmm.
first, for instance, in our last short film, sorry, two of the actors were one was in Madrid in Spain, and the other one was in Cancun. So we
Mm.
had like also video call sessions, and we were rehearsing there first. And Moises works a lot on that, no, on to catch the role or the idea that he expects from the actors. And
Hmm.
the process was kind of funny because we had several video calls before filming it, and it was really, really, really great. But I trust a lot on him because he's a master, and he always works a lot with the actors, and we're a team. We always work together.
Cool, cool, cool. So you confronted and you like look for advice from him. So because he's been in the business for a long time, and he did Hollywood, and he's famous in Mexico. So was that
Exactly.
working relationship? How did that start? How did you guys find each other?
He's my father-in-law.
Oh,
So that's how it started. Yeah,
okay.
but
Uh, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
we had a great relationship, and we have made a great team because it's we direct the short film, and for instance, my wife and my mother-in-law as well help us with the production. My sister-in-law makes the poster because she's a graphic designer. So everything is in family, So I think
Yeah.
that's
Nice,
part of our
nice.
of our success. I think that you know, we're a team together, and we work a lot because everyone is interested in having the best results, in the with the short film at the end of the day. So
Cool, cool, cool.
that's how it works.
I mean, I love that, bringing in family. Family is everything, right? So if you can work with family, I think that's a plus. I
Yeah,
really do. I think that's an absolute plus.
I
So
agree.
how did you guys name connect with the Madero Film Festival? How did you guys know? How did you find your way to that part?
Our first short film that we made, Noises,
Mhm.
I sent
Yeah.
it to FICCMA, to Festival International de Cine Ciudad Madero, and it was selected as best micro short film because, as I told you, it lasts just 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that's how I met Adrian. I met him in 2020, I think, because that year, due to the pandemic, the festival was only virtual. So we met each other just by messaging, text messaging. We didn't meet each other in person. But last year in 2022, our short film Mansplaining was selected as well for best horror short film and best screenplay. So I was nominated for best screenplay, and I went there to FICCMA, and I don't know how, because I don't like to say I'm Moises Suarez son-in-law, not because I don't feel proud of it, but because I want that people know me by me, no, by Javier Carreón, not as Moises Suarez son-in-law. No.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I don't know how, but Adrian realized that he was my father-in-law, and he asked me like, "Oh, so Moises Suarez is your father-in-law?" Yes, he is. Oh, I want to invite him to participate in my new short film. I want that he stars my new short film. Los Guardianes del Lago is the name. The Guardians Lake, I think it's the name in English.
Hmm.
And we went in December to film it, and we stayed there 3 days in Ciudad Madero. And it was such a great experience because I was like helping Moises with assisting him, and
Uh-huh.
also assisting Adrian in everything I could. So we made a really good friendship. We started a nice friendship after that. And this year was our short film Dulce Sabor, Sweet Deliverance, was selected as well.
Actually, I
All right.
think that film was Guardians Lake.
Yeah, The Guardians Lake.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. We've screened that. Very good film. Okay, so
Yeah.
now I'm familiar with Moses
Oh,
Suarez.
he's the main character
Yeah.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. So we did scream that at our festival there. We have it. Was it one of our selections?
Yeah, yes, it
Okay.
is. Oops.
Oop,
Haven't
oop.
announced. I guess we
Oh,
have.
awesome. All right. That's great. Okay. I think he's gonna be
But
very happy with
my
those
my
news.
my bad. Well, we don't know it quite yet. So we
All
still have
right.
like we have a number of judges. So we still have to go through. I was being an absent-minded professor, because we have like what, 22 22 or
Yeah,
23.
yeah, we'll have about 22 films in our virtual festival, and then we'll
All
pick a
right.
selection of that to screen in person on January 13th.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. All right. Well, I hope Guardians Lake would be selected. Yeah.
So it's really good to meet a filmmaker that have entered our festivals also, because the cool thing about our festival is it's the first year, right? And we're at the university. We're screening at the university, and we also screening online too. We have a virtual screening, which is going to last for seven days, a whole week. We're going to be screening online for 7 days, and we hope to expand, as we grow as the years, because we want to be next year And as the years go, we hope to expand and actually, travel to and show some of our final films that we screen in person. So that's one of the things we hope to keep expanding and bringing filmmakers along in the process. Because one thing about our organization, our film festival, is that we love filmmakers. We love filmmakers. We love to present and let people know exactly what's out there. Because there's so many different voices going on in terms of filmmaking, and I think if you bring it to a bigger audience, it's more appreciation for film, because I love film. I love film from India. I love film from Russia. I love film from Mexico. I can appreciate, because we all have that universal voice. Love is universal. Hate is universal,
Exactly.
and the filmmaker can tell that story. So our dream, our mission, to speak, is to promote as many filmmakers as possible. And right now we're just concentrating, it's called the Caribbean Latino Film Festival. It's a little niche market, but that right there is a very broad stroke of filmmakers,
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so I'm glad to interview you and get to know you more and have you talk about like what influenced you the most, what you have coming up and stuff like that. So that's really great. So now you're working with Adrian, and are you a part of the organization now, or what is your role in the organization?
I'm part of the organization now. Yeah, my role is I'm gonna be the judges coordinator. So I'm gonna be there in the next edition. That it's actually the eighth edition of the festival, I think. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
coordinating the judges, and taking them to. I mean, everywhere they Adrian told me tells me, sorry, to take them. So that's gonna be my role. I'm gonna be pending of the judges. So I think
Okay.
it's really great, and I feel really pleased to be part of such an amazing festival as FICCMA is.
Cool, cool. So let me get your take on filmmaking in Mexico. What would you want the world to know about Mexican filmmaking?
Oh wow, that's really great. Um, I think the movie industry in Mexico in the last years has improved a lot,
Hmm.
because in the past, I don't know, most of the movies were like about drugs and shootings and all of that. So I think right now there are filmmakers that have a really good content, and the movie industry is looking here. We have some amazing filmmakers that are actually Mexican, Oscar winners like Guillermo del Toro and Alfonso Cuarón and Alejandro González Iñárritu. I think right now the movie industry it's like focusing in Mexico as well. So I think that it's really great.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. How would the landscape now of like streaming, right? How is that a benefit for filmmakers in Mexico? For example, group companies like Netflix,
Mhm.
Disney, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. Do you find that the whole streaming opened up jobs for Mexican filmmakers? Did it broaden the playground a little bit more?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure, because they are producing lots of content here, not only movies but series, documentaries. So I think these streaming platforms are great for the Mexican filmmakers, because right now we have like a biggest chance to show our work there. So I think they're really great. I'm not against the streaming platforms as other filmmakers that they say no, I don't like them because it's not the same. Yes, I know that it's not the same to show your work in a big screen than in a streaming platform, of course. But I think they are really great, and they are opening more doors, to Mexican filmmakers. So I think that's really great.
Cool, 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 cool. I mean, like I know in the United States, some filmmakers are for it, and some are like, just like how you just stated, some want it, and some like have apprehensions because it's still a new way of going, a new way of showing films, and I think the biggest concern is how do we get paid type of thing. Um, how is it like in Mexico now? I know we just talked about the streaming service and how that opens up. How do you feel like who are the up and coming filmmakers, like the young filmmakers that we should be looking out for now? Like if you had to pick five of the best up and coming that you think the world should know about, who's on that list for you?
Oh, Mexican?
Yes.
Oh my. I don't know a lot of Mexican filmmakers, to be honest.
Mhm.
But for example, I like this guy. I think there's a guy called Manolo Caro. He's a young filmmaker, and he's making excellent content on Netflix. He already made two series, one feature as well, and I think he's really talented. And he has this kind of dark humor, which is really really funny. I think
Uh-huh.
that I would choose him, and uh, I don't know, from the young filmmakers. I don't know. There are some of them that I don't know their names, but they are really really talented as well. Yeah, but I would
Cool,
choose
cool.
him. Yeah, Manolo Caro. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, based on what you just said, I'll look into, watching some of his work on Netflix,
Do
so
you remember what a couple of his projects were on Netflix?
Yeah, his most famous TV series, well, here in Mexico was named La Casa de las Flores. I don't know in English it's called The Flowers House or something like that. It was a very successful series here in Mexico. Everybody watched it, and there are like three seasons there, and he directed it. And he has a couple more. He has a feature as well, and another series that I don't remember very well. But yeah, he's really talented. He's a really talented filmmaker. Yeah, and like him, there are lots of others. As I told you, I don't know their names as well, but right now, there are a lot of filmmakers as well. There's one called there's one that I admire a lot. His name is, let me tell you. Let me look for him, because he has a movie called El Incidente, The Incident, which is a
mm,
horror movie. Isaac Esban. Isaac Esban. It's his
Okay.
name. He is really really great, and he directed another movie called, another feature called Mal de Ojo, in Spanish is the name, in English, but it's about a witch with Ofelia Medina, who is a really great actress, that I admire a lot. I think he's also really talented. He's Zach Esban, and he's young as well. He must be in his 30s.
wow, that's good, that's
Mhm.
good, that's good. So let me ask you a question. Here in America, right, as a filmmaker, it's a very lonely, what I say, like a lonely job in terms of when you're trying to, you have an idea. For example, you have a great idea, you want to make it into a film, right? And the process here is you got to go out and raise money. There's no help from the government. There's no real support
Mhm.
system. Everybody's the individual in America. We love to preach that individualist type of
Exactly.
mentality, right?
Yeah.
How is it as a filmmaker? Let's say you, as a filmmaker, you have your idea. You already give us your story that you have your relatives and stuff like that. Let's say, for example, you didn't know anybody and
Mhm.
you just out of film school, right? And you want to start, you want to create your film, right? you want to produce your film, you want to raise some money to make it happen. Is there any program in Mexico that's run by the government that the government help up and coming filmmakers or artists?
Yeah, there are some kinds of programs. Unfortunately, with this new government, things have changed a little bit. But yeah, there are some of them, like in Cine, for instance. There are a couple programs that they can look for, and in order to get some support, some economic support. But unfortunately, I must say it, most of the filmmakers who are starting, we produce our own short films, so
It's you have to be on your own. There's no net to help you. There's no okay. The government
uh,
have something, but it's not a whole lot.
sad but true. Yeah, just a few of them are supported by these kind of organizations, but unfortunately, that's a reality. Most of us, we produce our own short films with our own money. Yes.
Okay, well, that's good to hear because I want our audience, because our audience are worldwide, right? We have audience in Mexico also. We have audience in, Japan, Germany. So I want everyone that will say, well, you know what? I wouldn't mind making a film in Mexico. What's the process like? How would I go about doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I we love to inform people. So if anyone wants to work in Mexico, produce a film, how would they go about doing that? What's the best approach to, like saying, a foreigner coming out to produce, maybe collaborating with a Mexican producer or filmmaker to make that happen? Would the government see more clearly to helping out?
Mm-hmm. Uh, Probably, I think yeah, but what I recommend to all young filmmakers who are interested, like like starting in this industry, is like if first of all, I think you need to have a good story, because if you don't have a good story, it doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world, it won't work.
Mm,
you know. So first of all, it's to have a good screenplay, and then look for the way to make it. For instance, I don't know, it's just an example, but my original screenplay about noises, it was with a monster, with a huge monster, and when we made it, it was like, okay, we don't have the budget to have the monster, so it's gonna be imaginary, you know. So
yes.
they can have these kind of resources in order to save money, but to have the same impact. You know what I mean?
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm. Yeah,
So
you have to use your creativity. If you don't have your money,
Mm.
you have to use your
exactly,
creativity. And
I
that's
call it
pretty
that's what I
cool.
mean. That's
creative
what I mean.
flexibility. Yeah, that's definitely the same
Mhm.
thing I would have done. We're going to imagine them. We're going to hear the monster, but not see it. We're going to have the lights go
Exactly.
out and we'll hear the monster.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So cool. So what's next for you? I mean, how do you see your career developing now? I mean, you're helping out with the film festival. You have a number of shorts underneath
Mhm.
your belt. How do you see your career developing now?
My two goals right now are, the first one is I want to make one more short film that I have been working on it for a long time, and it's a short film that I really, really want to make, and it's about a real case which happened here in Mexico City that really didn't allow me to sleep for several nights, because it was really,
Oh,
really terrifying, and
Ooh.
it's a real case that happened here in Mexico City some years ago, and I really, really want to make it. So, but I need a lot of money for that, because it takes some visual effects, no, for
yeah.
this short film. So my idea is to make that one, and after that, I would like to start with my first feature. And we have thought about it. It's a Mexican legend that not a lot of people know about it. So I am working on the screenplay, but that's what I want to do next. You know.
It's your feature a horror film? I mean, I'm trying to get little nuggets of everything that you talk about. Not to give everything away, but just share a little as much as possible that the audience can feel something. Like okay, for
Well, yeah.
example, your short, you saying it was a terrifying real situation. Could you just give us a little, just not too much about it, but a little that so the audience can be excited and because they can be oh. I can't wait to see this movie. Just
Of
give us
course.
just a little bit.
Okay, it's a legend that not many people know because most of the people know La Llorona, these Mexican legends that are so popular, but this one is not as popular. It's from a little town from San Luis, called San Luis Potosí. It's a state in Mexico, and the town is called Cedral. And my mother-in-law told me this legend, and it's a dark fantasy, because it's about a creature there who
Mm-hmm.
appeared in this city, and I don't want to spoil a lot, but more or less it's about that. It's gonna be more than horror. I think it's gonna be a dark fantasy because I want to make like a family movie, but with a dark touch. Because there are not a lot of Mexican family movies. Most of them are PG-13 rating or R, and this one I want to make something familiar, but with a dark touch.
I like that. You said it's based on a Mexican legend that's sort of like pre-branded entertainment. It already has a little bit of an audience built into it. Then I can probably guess what it is, but I won't.
All right.
That's really cool. Like what Chris says, you have a built-in audience because it's a legend, and so some people will know a little bit about it, and then you can start a conversation. You can start that conversation where everyone would like to see the movie, and you want to make it family oriented. So, which is great. Most horror movies are not family oriented. So
Exactly.
that's
Yes, just a few of them.
so that's a tall hill to climb. So I'm curious, like, how would you not about the story anymore because we don't want to we don't want to give away too much, but put in let's get in like the whole family aspect of a horror movie. How does that work? How does that work? How do you see your vision putting that together?
First of all, the main characters are kids. So that's we're gonna start on that. No, the main characters are gonna be kids, and
Goonies.
as I told, yeah, like the Goonies, yeah, yeah, and we're it's a as I told you, it's a Mexican legend, and this creature it's a fantastic creature that used to appear here in this city, and lots of people know about it in that city. There's very popular. So my idea is to film it there, actually. And the same, and look for some support from the government because the idea is like to bring tourism as well. San Luis Potosí, it's a very beautiful state that must be visited by lots of people.
Cool. Yeah, I think that would work. Having the government come in and say this is something special. This is part of us,
I hope.
and and embrace it. So I'm looking forward to it. Just from you talking about it, I'm looking forward to it. But before we move on, I just want to go back just one couple of inches back where you talk about your short that you wanted to work on, where you say it didn't let you sleep for a week, correct?
Yeah, it was so shocking.
And you say it's based off a real incident. I'm going to try to sneak a little bit out of you so our audience can get just,
Shall I tell you or not? Okay.
just
I'm
a
gonna
little
tell you
bit.
like
Don't
plot.
give us the whole story, but give us a
Okay.
little bit. Yeah.
The plot. It was a 16 years old girl who was a prostitute, and she got pregnant 3 times, and she got the babies and she ate them. So that's why I tell you that is really shocking. We want to make it and to look it really, to look it real, because if it's not as shocking as I'm telling you, look, you have an idea now in your brain on how this was. Now take this to the screen. Oh man, that's a huge challenge, don't you think?
I think so, because now I think now my audience are disturbed by it now. I mean,
It was
I
really
don't think
shocking.
I
Yeah.
don't think my audience is gonna be able to sleep now for a week.
And let me tell you that this story was actually told by a student because I am an English teacher as well.
Okay.
And I told my student once. Well, he used to go to my apartment to have his English class there, and then I had a book there on the table that was the 100 worst serial killers in history or something like that, no? And he started by reading them. And I told him, hey, are you interested on that? Yes, because he used to work in the prison for young people. I don't know how to call it, like in the jails
Juvenile,
yeah,
like a
exactly,
juvenile. Yeah.
like a juvenile, exactly.
Mhm.
And he used to work there. And after his class, he used to go to my home because it was on the same street. My apartment building, it was on the same street. And I asked him, yes, you work there. Please, can you tell me what's the worst case that you have heard? I mean, the most terrifying. And he told me this one. So I was like,
Mm.
oh man, yes, it's really terrifying. It's really shocking. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad that I think our audience are gonna like want to keep it with you now because they want to know, is this thing gonna be made? I mean, you got two great films that the audience are really
Thanks.
gonna be interested in because they're gonna want to, what was this person thinking? What was the mindset of this young woman? And then the legend, the feature length, the whole that whole legend in that town. People are gonna want to know about it. So it's been really cool talking to you. One more thing I'd like to talk to you
Thank
about.
you.
I think your film this year, was it Sweet Deliverance? Was it? Or
Exactly.
Sweet Deliverance?
Sweet
Could you talk
deliverance.
a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a comedy, curiously, because it's the first time that I make a comedy. So,
Uh-huh.
a comedy not involved in like in a horror story because it's a comedy. It has a dark touch because if it doesn't have a dark touch, it wouldn't be a Javier Carreón film, you know.
Oh, okay.
So it's about a wife who realizes that she has been cheated by her husband for several years. So she plans how to take revenge on that. So she plans with her lawyer a really really smart and creative revenge on her husband and his lover as well. So it is nice. It's a soft comedy, but it's really 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 cool and really funny. Well, we had the opportunity to watch it now at FICCMA in the big screen, Cinepolis,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it was really great to hear the reaction of the people that they were laughing a lot, and at the end they clapped as well. And well, let me show you off. We also won our statuette from FICCMA, so
Nice, nice, nice.
it,
Beautiful.
it was a really great experience. Mhm.
Cool, cool, cool. So I look forward to seeing your work. I look forward to hearing more from you and stuff like that. What
Thank you.
what what
Thank
um what ideas or what thoughts would you like to share that people have the most um what are the word I'm searching for? Like they have the not the proper view of Mexico. What is that what would you like to
Misconception.
share? Yeah, misconception of Mexico. What would you like people to know about Mexico?
Oh, of course, I would like to know, first of all, that it's a beautiful country that has wonderful people. Not all of them are criminals, you know. And I know that sometimes you think of Mexico and it's like, oh no, it's very dangerous. I mean, yes, it is as most of the big cities. Well, I'm talking about Mexico City, no, as most of the big cities in the world, you know. But It has such beautiful places to show the whole country. We have beautiful beaches. We have delicious food. So I would invite people to visit Mexico because it's a great place. And most of its people, it's really they are really great.
Cool, cool. And what advice would you give for, like, I think I asked you this, but if you want to make it broader, what advice would you give for like up and coming filmmakers that want to break into the business?
Okay, to never give up. I know that it's a really hard career, and most of the times you're gonna be tired of it, and you're gonna want to give up, you know. But don't do it, and always follow your dreams. And if you really like this, it's the most beautiful occupation in the world.
Nice, nice. I want, if people want to get in touch with you, how would they do that? What's your how would they go about getting in touch with you?
Uh-huh. Okay, you can look for me on Facebook as Javier Carreón, or on Instagram. It's at Javier Carreón G. And you can find me there. Those are the two social networks that I use the most, because I have X as well, but honestly, I practically never use it.
I think you're most people now because no
Yeah,
one knows.
exactly. Yeah, no one knows about it anymore. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, Javier, I am thankful for you for coming on here and sharing your time with us. Really appreciate it. I look forward to for your work. I look forward to, for your that short that you just talked about. I look forward to your feature and look forward working with you in the future also.
That will be great, Charles. Thanks a lot for the invitation, Chris. It was a pleasure to meet you as well, and I feel really pleased to be here with you both, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Javier.
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Take care of you. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.